Just a little video to tell you what to expect if you go to Walmart to buy a rifle. I went in there, cash in my pocket, and I was ready to buy. I'd been looking for a couple of weeks. I have guns in storage in another state, and I had to pick up something for elk season because I'm not going to be able to get down there and get them. So I wanted to get a cheap Savage 30-06 that isn't going to cost me a bunch. Walmart had a decent one, so get him to get the rifle out. Now the funny thing is that how terrified everybody was when he asked to look at a gun. It went through 5 people before somebody was willing to open the cabinet. And then when it did, the woman was shaking like she was, I don't know what she was expecting, but she was absolutely terrified to be standing in front of a gun cabinet. And so I painfully got her to get me the rings and the bases and the parts to lay out on the counter so that I could see if the rifle's eye relief with the scope was going to be correct and things like that. Just things that you would basically do when you buy a gun and all the parts. Now, I got a lot of money sitting up on the counter, and she's fighting me. She's fighting me on taking the scope out of the box and laying it on the scope ring. Now, this isn't going to bubble wrap or nothing. This isn't going to hurt anything. It's just going to lay right on there. And then I can at least look through the scope and see if the eye relief is going to work for me. There are some scope rifle combinations I can't do. I have a strange eye relief. And so she just absolutely lost it and said there's no way that I can buy this gun, and pretty much basically told me to leave the store. And so I said, okay. I got my money, put it back in my pocket, and gave her all of her pieces and said, have a nice day. And I said, you can't sell a gun to somebody if you aren't willing to do the steps it takes. Nobody's going to buy all this stuff and, just go home haphazardly throw that together. We need to kind of see how it works. And that's just typical in rifle buying and gun buying. And this is Montana. Everywhere, people are gun friendly here, and nobody really has a fear. But Walmart has really got a strange atmosphere when it comes to weapons. It's like I can't buy any handgun ammo for my rifle. It's funny, but they don't sell anything that shoots in a handgun. Somehow this company thinks that they're better in the world because they won't sell handgun ammunition. The liberal theology that has creeped into the American psyche is absolutely unbelievable. The whole situation at Walmart broke down because of the fear of guns. The fear of guns that comes from every TV show, every news broadcast, all the demonization of guns. And yet we have presidents who have children sex tapes on their computer, and he don't get kicked out of the office. And we have people that have been presidents of this country that go to the sex slave island and have sex with children, and they worry about things like if somebody has a deer rifle, or if they got a handle grip on their weapon, or if they got too many rounds in their chamber or in their magazine. All this stuff is ridiculous. We need to start worrying about the things that matter. Like the tax situation where nobody gets deductions, or the IRS is hiring thousands and thousands of people with M16s to enforce rules that aren't law, they're policies. And so we're in a situation that's pretty dire, but you can see the evidence of how ridiculous it is just by going and trying to buy a rifle nowadays. The fear in everybody and how they act is ridiculous.